I want to make now in English a video for all the scientists and all the evildoer Nazis who not allowed me to teach just because I believe in God as a theological person. This is a shame that just these people can teach who not believe in God, and just these people can work who are murderers or liars or not believe in God. This is mean that all on the earth, all the people not can worship God because they not want to allow it, that I'm a Jewish person who really believe in God, teach with diploma. This is my international diploma, and now I want to show what even when I believe in God, I will study all my life, scientist also, and I want to show now the word what I was learn and study. My first school before the diploma was a language school. This is original. ELS, it's mean International Language School for 3 languages. International Language School for 3 languages. I can translate in Hungarian language and German language, and in English language I can translate books. This is the English from London, my English paper. And now I want to show all the scientists that I was really learn and read more than 10,000 books. I study on the university. This is the original in German, diploma, original. This is a translation in English from my diploma in the university. And just one such faculty, I was read in one faculty more than 10 books. It was very hard because I study not just one faculty, I study more than 300 faculties. More than 300 faculties I study. Now I will show you. I study at first German and theological Bible study, but I also a psychological teacher. This was Bible study. I hope you can see Bible studies and German cultural study. I study the culture. Then I study morphology. Morphology is very important to study languages. And German linguistics, Perspektive. Perspektive is like architecture. This is architecture, how you can draw castles in perspective in architecture. This is how you draw temples and such things. Then I study art history from all the history from all the lands. And many other cultural things I study. And I will show you what I read for books also for this. Monge geometry was very important. Monge geometry in four dimension to draw cathedrals, and under the cathedrals, the catacombas is under the earth. How you can draw it from on paper, all these things. But here, space and object faculty is very important, this space faculty. Then professional practice, the another page. I study anatomy, how God created the human body. We was learning anatomy more than 100 books about the bones, the skins, and all these things. How many bones have the body, and how the skins and the muscles bite on the body. Anatomy was very, very hard. I studied this many times. I was learned in the university 10.5 years, and in one faculty we learned many books. History, figure, German, grammar, morphology. Then psychology, general psychology. I study many times this. History education, how you can teach history, how you can teach the history to children. Modeling, then science, here political science, politology and political science I study. And we study Aristoteles and all these things, not just German political science and Hungarian political science. We study all the political figure in history. This was very, very important that I studied the politics from the beginning with the law. And here in this faculty, in politology, in political science, I was read more than 10,000 books. German language in stylistic, this is another language. The stylistic language is another as morphology. Then social psychology is very important. Because I can read the characters of human, that I'm really a psychology, that because I become a best note here. And social psychology I study many times. Grammar exam, I make the grammar exam. Care practice, daycare practice, this was a law. How we study here the law, how you can care about the children with the law. We must study here a lot of things. That this is drawing, art, perspective, and all these things. Psychological linguistic, when the people talk, I can study about his talking, his psychology reading, or how the people feel. It was very important, this psychological linguistics. And then graphic, I study graphic in the Middle Age, history in the Middle Age, because I study history in Old Egypt and Old Babylon, then in the history in the Middle Age and the New History I study also. I was taught all the history and all the buildings and all the political practice and all these things. Psychology, lecture, psychology, seminar, drawing, folk art. Folk art was very important. How the poor people was drawing, not just the rich and famous people, the poor people also. History of German, I study the history of German. Lexicology, I study lexicology. And I study the colors, the psychological fact about the colors and the meaning about the colors in the Bible studies is important, and psychological things is also important. And here, history 3, civilization, complex pedagogy, psychology, examination. And geographic I study, and geographic design. How I can make a modeling. This is very important. History of literature. I study also the literature history, not just from the buildings and the castles, the literature history I study also what they wrote, as Goethe and Faust and all these things, not just the buildings, all the writings from Alpha to the New Day I study. This was very, very hard. I read here more than 10,000 books in history in many languages. This was very hard. What all the people wrote for books, I must read all the books from history. Then observation, matter. I want to show something. I read it now. Aesthetic is also good, and I looking for a faculty what was very important, but economics, this is it. I study economic. Economic is Agrarkultur, Agrarwissenschaft in Germany. Agrarwissenschaft, economy. I study, this is very important to politics. With this, I can rule a country. With this faculty, I can rule a country in a good economy country. And here I study all the economy plan from a lot of people, not just Karl Marx. I study all the people from democracy, from Greece, from every country. I study the books, and this was very good. And new media, how I make films and placards, how I can sold a placard with a product. This was very important because I make many placards with products, and then the government steal my placards and make reclam in a TV with my own placards and not pay me out what I design. And then they just telling shit about me that I'm stupid. I was never stupid. I study all my life, and they just steal all my things and deleted what I wrote and make me shit about jealousy. This is the true psychology, sociology in art. This is important. When little children who not can talk or who become a trauma and not can talk, I can also make psychology and social how I can tell lessons when they not can talking, but everybody can draw, and about their drawings, about what the children draw or the trauma person who draw a picture, I can study the picture, what he draw and what he feel in his mind. This was very, very interesting, and I was very, very like it. And aesthetic, history, psychology, sociology, civilizations. I study also Switzerland. Switzerland was Schweiz. I study Switzerland history and the civilization and the language, because Switzerland have another language. It's not a slang, it's also German language, but they talk another as in Germany. So I study Switzerland language, and I study also Austrian languages, and I look new media, plate class. I study many faculties, I was told, even when they not believe me. And language of books. The colorful language of books. Every books have another language, and I study here what kind of language they use in history. And every history have another language. Goethe talk another way as the modern books are, and this was very important. Therefore, I know also the Bible language. The Bible theological language is another old language as today the people talk. I study here all the language from the books from the beginning. And I tell you now an example. In the Bible, in German language, the Bible theology language say God created Adam and Eve about his Ebenbild. Ebenbild is God's face, Ebenbild. And Goethe was talk in that time Antlitz, but today we say Gesicht. And this is a book language. In every book, every generation, they talk about the same word, but wrote another word. And I know every historical words from the beginning in that time also, and this was very hard to study. So I'm not stupid person. I learn all my life, and here is this proof. And I wrote more than 10 years now helping letters that the Nazi government not allowed me to teach because I believe in God. And police hit me that I must shut up and I must suffer. And I question every law, and I question the Catholic Church who just watched this suffering, that they not allowed me to teach just because I believe in God. Where is this written that a person who believes really in God not can teach just because he believes in God? Even when I study all the economy and all the scientists, theological things also, what they use in another faculty, I study everything. And it is a shame that everybody watch my suffering, not give me human right. And I ask all the rabbi, I want to teach to create a family, to earn money. And I study, this is all my schools and another schools. I'm a nurse also. I make in a Semmelweis clinic a nurse paper. And I study all my life to make money, to create a family and make a house. And they not allowed me just because I believe in God. I study a lot of books and I know the truth. Because about my wisdom, they deleted all my books what I wrote himself. And when the rabbis just watch my suffering and not help, I think nobody can say on the last day that they belong to God, who not help with God's law a suffering victim just because he believe in God and study and have knowledge and wisdom. Thank you.